Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to Jotindi, a peaceful place where you can learn all about connecting to your higher self. I am so excited for today's episode because we are diving into the juicy topic of conscious manifestation. And yes, it is going to be a little sciencey, but don't worry, I promise to keep it simple and practical. I'm going to walk you through an exercise to help calm your nervous system and to help get you into alignment with what it is that you're trying to create in your life right now. Welcome to Jotindi, Journey to the Inner Divine, a sacred space for healing energy, emotional release, and soulful transformation. If you're ready to live with joy, ease, and purpose, you're in the right place. So before we begin, this field of science is relatively new, and as we learn about it, more amazing things will be revealed. So don't worry if the things you hear in this episode are a little bit different than the things you've heard somewhere else, or if in a following episode we get updated information. This is all part of the learning and the growing process. By the end of this episode, you are going to understand not only why I chose to make the shift from an achievement-focused life coach to more spiritual work as an energy healer, but also how this approach can help you manifest the life that you truly want, starting right now. So, whether you're here because you're curious, or maybe you've tried manifesting but felt like it didn't work for you, or you're just looking for some inspiration to realign to your goals, you are in the right place. Also, before we dive in, don't forget to grab the freebie that goes along with this episode. It's called the Anchor Your Intentions Guide, and it walks you through how to consciously set and align your energy to call in your desires. And I will tell you a little bit more about that towards the end of the episode. So first up, we're talking about quantum physics. I want to introduce you to a couple of the very basic principles, so get ready to geek out with me a little bit. I'm going to give you the very simplified version of a few of the quantum physics concepts that are actually super relevant to the work that we do in healing and manifestation. So first up, we have wave-particle duality. And this means that a particle can behave as both a wave and particle, and it has the potential to exist in different forms or different states, depending on how it's observed or measured. Basically, what that means is that multiple things are possible at the same time. And it's not until we decide to view it or observe it or measure it that it becomes an actual reality in our current time space reality. The second idea is called superposition. And this is the idea that systems can exist in multiple potential states at the same time until one is chosen or measured, which at that point, it collapses all the possibilities into one definite outcome. And this is really similar to the first idea, because the first idea is talking about a single particle being able to behave in two different ways at the same time. And superposition is talking about an entire system being able to potentially exist in multiple states at the same time. So it's kind of the same thing, but on a much larger scale. And once you choose the outcome, or you measure it, or you view it, it takes all those possibilities and it collapses it down into one observable, measurable outcome. And the third concept, and the most intriguing one, in my opinion, is quantum entanglement. And this is when two particles become linked, so that no matter how far apart they are, what happens to one will affect the other. And this is where it gets really interesting, because once you interact with one particle, you become part of this entangled system. So you can't even observe it or measure it without influencing the system as well, which is really cool, but also I feel like probably a little bit annoying for the scientists because they're trying to measure things and they can't measure them properly because they're influencing their behavior while they're trying to measure it. And I did hear something really cool that happened. It was an experiment in quantum physics. They took two particles and they entangled them, and they shot them off in opposite directions. And once they were shot off in opposite directions, they did something to one that made the other one react. and they reacted at the exact same time. Now, if these particles were governed by our Newtonian physics, the ones that we all kind of agree upon with like the speed of light and time and space, that sort of reality that we're all living in on this planet, then what happened to one particle, there would have been a very small momentary delay in the amount of time where the other particle reacted. But since they reacted at the exact same moment, that means that these two particles are not governed by the same type of physics that the rest of us are all living by, which is super interesting and really opens your mind up to so many possibilities. It means that time might not be how we perceive it, or space might not be how we perceive it. And maybe, just maybe, when we combine all of these ideas, it means that we can choose a new future reality for ourselves. All we have to do is observe it, measure it, be there for it, and we can change the outcome into something completely new and different than what you are expecting. And why am I telling you all this? Because these principles show that we are all connected. Not just emotionally connected, but energetically connected. Every interaction that you have with another person leaves a trace. Every thought, every intention, or every action, it ripples out and it influences the entire world in unpredictable and powerful ways. And when you understand this, then you start to realize that the mark that you leave on the world, the vibe that you carry, the way that you show up, the way you interact with people, whether it's with love and kindness, or if you're impatient that day, it's all meaningful. And you have far more influence than you think. So now let's bridge this into healing and manifestation work. Like I said in the beginning of the episode, this is all about conscious manifestation. This is where we're going to use the power of our minds and our thoughts and our energy to create a new reality for ourselves. And some people call this quantum healing. And quantum healing basically rests on the idea that everything is interconnected, so that when you change one part of the system, like your energy or your mindset or your emotional frequency, it ripples into everything else, and it has an effect on your entire system as a whole. Now, this might not mean that you can just change your emotions and you're going to heal your broken leg. There are still things that you have to do in order to combine this to make it an effective strategy. However, changing one part of the system will have a ripple effect on other parts of your system. This has been proven with the placebo effect. This is why during studies, when they give people medications and they give other people a sugar pill, the people that are taking the sugar pill but believe they're taking the medication often heal at a faster rate than the people who are not given anything. And that's because your mind is very powerful. And when you change your beliefs and you change your thoughts and you change your energy, it can heal the rest of your body as well. Here's another simple example. If you consciously focus on aligning yourself with the energy of love or compassion or gratitude, you're not just affecting your own mood, you're affecting your whole energy field. And this is because your energy from your body, it ripples out past your physical body. And it has an effect and it interacts with everything in the world around you. So you're not just shifting your own mood. Because your energy interacts with the world around you, you also begin to impact your body, your relationships, your opportunities, the plants in your room, your pets, everything that interacts with your energy. And this is why the thoughts that you think, the beliefs that you hold, the intentions that you set, it all matters so much. So one thing that science has proven without a doubt is that your brain emits a measurable frequency when you're thinking. And you vibrate or resonate at that frequency. And just like if you were to take a glass of water and set it next to a speaker playing music, you could see the ripples of the water match up with the sound waves coming out. Your environment your loved ones, your work, your plants, they all begin to vibrate along with you at that same frequency that you are vibrating at. So when you're in a low vibration state, think fear or resentment or anger, you're not just affecting your own system, but you're actually subtly influencing everything around you. And that means opportunities are going to look different. People are going to treat you different because they can subconsciously pick up on this vibrational energy that you're giving off. Maybe your pets act different. It's just going to have a whole effect. But the good news is that when you shift into a high vibration state like love or gratitude or peace, that same thing happens, except now you're creating healing ripples. You're opening the door to new opportunities. You're helping people feel good around you. They want to treat you better because they like your energy that you're giving off. And so here's another interesting thing that I learned recently. It's not just your brain that emits this measurable frequency. Your heart also emits an electromagnetic field, and this can be measured. They measure your brain with an EEG, they measure your heart with an EKG. These are like standard tests that happen in hospitals all over the world. So these electromagnetic frequencies that you are emitting have been proven. It's rooted in science, based in fact. And this electromagnetic field that your heart puts out doesn't just stop where your skin is at, it extends out past your body. They can measure this field up to 3 feet away from you. This field of study, called neurocardiology, is a study of the heart's neurons and how they function. This field of study has shown that when you're in a state of love, gratitude, or compassion, the rhythm of your heart becomes harmonious with the other systems of your body, and it helps build resilience and emotional regulation. When you're in a state of anxiety or fear, or you have other negative states of mind, this rhythm becomes erratic and incoherent. And since your heart has its own energy field, these messages affect the system as a whole, like we talked about earlier. These coherent or incoherent heart state rhythms are sent up your body to your brain. And then the information is used by your brain to determine whether you should be in a relaxed state of mind or in a fight or flight mode. These messages influence your stress levels, your creativity, your learning, and your ability to function or not function so well. Your heart's electromagnetic energy field is so powerful. It is actually 5,000 times stronger than the brain's electromagnetic field. So, being in a state of heart coherence has a profound effect on your body. And the good news is that you can retrain your heart just like you can retrain your thoughts. All of the information that's been put out about how to reprogram your mind, to shift your mindset, all of these things can be applied to your heart state as well. And with a little bit of practice, you can learn to drop into heart coherence easily and quickly to have a profound positive effect on your body. And this whole concept that we've been talking about is exactly why I chose to work as an energy healer, because not everybody can tackle their life's biggest issues all at once. Sometimes you just can't open that can of worms. Sometimes we just don't have the bandwidth. But what we can do is we can learn to shift our energy. And when you shift your energy, you can change the foundation of your life. Like I've said, if you change one part of the system, it can have an effect on the system as a whole. And that means when you are no longer operating from fear or scarcity or trauma patterns, you start operating from a place of conscious alignment where your intentions and your energy are working with you, not against you, to create this life that you desire. When you hear people talk about manifestation, it's not just about sitting on the couch, imagining checks arriving in the mail. It's about aligning your whole system with the vibration of what you want to call in, and then anchoring those intentions into your daily life through small, consistent, and conscious actions. In order for conscious manifestation to work, you have to realize that in order to create real change in your life, you have to create real change within you. And that means healing, healing your emotions, healing your energy, healing from your past. So, one thing that you can do right now to help bring your heart into alignment and start healing your energy is to do this little exercise I'm about to walk you through. Now, if you are driving, please don't do this, obviously. But if you can, I'd like you to sit down for a second and take a few slow, deep breaths. Allow your eyes to unfocus and just try to relax. And as you breathe in, I want you to gently close your eyes and bring to mind something that fills you with love, joy, or gratitude. One of my favorite things to get into heart coherence is to think about my pets. Pets are great for this. And when I think of my little dog looking up at me with those big eyes, just content and happy, feeling like everything's right in the world if he can just look into my face, it fills me with this immense sense of joy and gratitude. So I want you to take this feeling, whatever it is that is bringing you joy and love and gratitude. I want you to focus on that emotion, feeling the feelings that you have. Imagine that this feeling is a glowing light in the center of your chest. Take a deep breath in, let your belly expand as big as possible, and allow those feelings of love and joy and gratitude to amplify. Let them get bigger. Feel them wash over you. Visualize this light that is this beautiful feeling that's glowing in the center of your chest. Imagine it growing and moving up your body from your heart towards your brain. Feel the love even more and imagine this light growing to encompass your whole body until it's extending all the way out past your body. Hold this feeling for as long as you'd like. Continue breathing deeply and feeling this feeling, allowing your heartbeat to regulate. Notice your heartbeat. Notice the feelings of positivity. Notice the feelings of love. And as you practice this, notice that you get into alignment a little quicker each time. And notice your feelings becoming a little bit stronger each time. Even if it's a little bit difficult to get into the state of heart coherence on your first time, just keep trying. You literally cannot fail at this. You can't do it wrong. Each time you practice, you'll get a little bit better. Try not to judge yourself. And if thoughts come up that are distracting while you are trying to do this exercise, that's okay. Your mind is designed to think. It's just doing its job. Just notice the thoughts. Don't judge yourself for having them and let them pass, like clouds in the sky or cars driving by you on the road. Remind yourself you can always revisit the thought when you're finished if you need to. But don't get hard on yourself. Don't judge yourself. Just keep trying. I want to share a quick story about one of my clients. We'll call her Alyssa. For years, Alyssa felt stuck. On the outside, she was functioning. She was holding down a job. She was taking care of her kids. She was showing up the best that she could. But inside, she was exhausted. She was overwhelmed. She felt disconnected from herself. And one day, she stumbled across the idea of energy healing by meeting me. Not as like some mystical concept, but as a way to gently shift her internal world. She was curious and she started small. A few sessions here, a journaling practice there. She began to notice her thoughts, especially those sneaky, quiet ones that whispered, "You're not enough. You're going to mess this up. People are going to think you're a fraud." And with each breath, with each practice we did, with each session we worked through her limiting beliefs, she began to release them. Slowly but surely, her energy shifted. And then a beautiful thing happened. The outside started shifting too. She started sharing her ideas about work And it just so happened that she shared with the absolute right person who was high up in her company, and she was able to create a new position for herself, which led to an even better job for her. At home, her relationship with her kids softened. With less tension in her body and more compassion in her heart, the walls began to fall, and her kids felt it. They opened up more. They connected. They started acting like a family again. And most importantly, Alyssa started loving herself. Not the perfect version of her that she used to chase, but the real, the raw, the radiant woman that she had always been. And it wasn't magic, it was energy. When she changed her energy, everything changed. So I hope all this information that I've shared with you today and the stories that I've shared have helped spark some ideas about how powerful you truly are and how much influence you already have over the direction your life is taking. I know that we touched on more than a few topics that could be an entire episode all on their own. So if you need more in-depth information or clarification on anything we've gone over, I would absolutely love to hear from you. You could message me on Instagram or Facebook, or you can email me directly. My email is just mariah@mariahaurora.com. Super simple. And to help you put all of this into practice, I've created a free guide for you, which I mentioned in the beginning of the episode, called the Anchor Your Intentions Guide. It walks you through how to identify the frequency you want to live in, how to clear out the misaligned energy, and how to lock in your intentions so that they ripple into every part of your life. You can grab that at the link in the show notes, or you can go to my website, mariahaurora.com. And if this episode spoke to you even a little, I would love if you shared it with a friend. If you left a review or even tagged me on social media, it really helps so much. And I love seeing who's listening. So thank you for being here. And remember, you are powerful. You are connected, and you can create the life you desire, one conscious intention at a time. And don't forget, there is no path to happiness. Happiness is the path. Talk to you next time.